Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, the Proud Boys seditious conspiracy trial is scheduled to begin very soon, December 12th. And I wanted to share a few details with you guys that have come out in recent court filings and in news reports. First, at the end of November, U.S. District Judge Timothy Kelly, who's presiding over this trial, he rejected the Proud Boys' request to dismiss the case. He ruled that their motion, quote, lacks merit. And it's important to note Kelly is a Trump appointee, and he's been pretty lenient in these January 6 sentences. We also found out in an October court filing that the Justice Department hit Parler with search warrants. They were demanding information about former Proud Boys chairman Enrique Tarrio specifically. Parler, as you guys probably likely know, they're an alt-right social media platform. It's filled with bigotry and hate and conspiracy theories. So, of course, it's where a lot of the Proud Boys posted and communicated with each other. That court filing also reminded everyone about anti-police statements that were made by some of these January 6 defendants in this upcoming Proud Boys trial. So after the police started to actually hold some of these proud bigots accountable at various events around the country, they started to turn on them, because they're like spoiled children. They finally hear the word no, and so the police become their enemy. And they said things in the lead up to January 6th, like, quote, I'm ready to just be the Zamboni and just roll over these motherfuckers. So that post was written by defendant Joe Biggs on January 1st of 2021. That was in response to others who were complaining about the police. They were saying things like hashtag fuck the blue. And then on top of that, what we learned is that in addition to trying to get the entire case tossed out, the Proud Boys attorneys have tried to suppress certain documents and unflattering evidence. So some of the evidence highlights this rampant bigotry that goes on in this extremist group. So, for example, the screen name used by defendant Charles Donahoe was, and I'm going to abbreviate some of this because I refuse to use these words, but his screen name was Cracker N-word F word. So you guys all know what the N-word is. The F word I'm referring to is a homosexual slur. Beyond the bigotry, it's just unbelievable how immature these people are. These are grown men, at least based on the calendar, right? Based on the number of years they've been on the planet. But it's like they stopped maturing at 14 years old. So anyway, in other recent court filings, it was revealed that there were as many as 8 informants embedded in the group prior to the Capitol attack. Defense attorneys allege that some of the information provided by these informants is exculpatory for their clients, but that it's being withheld from them or that it was withheld until just recently. The Justice Department denies this. They told the judge that the documents were not suppressed, they were not kept from the defense, and that they were not, in many cases, even relevant to the seditious conspiracy case. Unfortunately, all of the information provided by the informants is under seal, so we're not going to know what it said for quite some time. But before I move on to the next piece of information, I wanted to point something out because people really just get this whole thing twisted with informants. I think the right uses the idea of informants, quote unquote, as a catch-all, as an excuse for their illegal actions. An informant can be someone who works for law enforcement. That's true, right? They can be strategically embedded into a group. Or, as in many cases, it can be someone who legitimately joined the group. They wanted to be a part of it, but then somewhere along the way, they become disillusioned with the group, or they become concerned about something that they see or that they hear. And then they take it upon themselves to go to the authorities to report it. We saw this just recently in the Oath Keepers trial. There were witnesses who genuinely liked the idea of the Oath Keepers. But then when they became involved, they became members, they realized, oh, the group's leader, it has become radicalized. He's crazy. They're openly discussing causing violence. So they went to the police. And then there's another type of informant. An informant can also be someone who is being forced to be an informant, someone who's facing legal issues for something else. They're approached by law enforcement, they're offered some sort of deal, and they're given an exchange, right? If you give us information about what's going on inside this group, we'll cut you a deal on your other issues. So just because there are informants in a group, it doesn't mean that these are feds or that this person is pulling the strings and putting plans in motion. And it definitely doesn't absolve everyone else of their illegal actions. These are grown ass men who try to portray themselves as alpha males. So, yeah, to say that they were led around by the nose by a Fed, give me a break. That is laughable, and it's complete hypocrisy according to what and who they say they are. So anyway, the final update I have is about a new filing on behalf of Enrique Tarrio. He's asking the judge for permission to call Officer Shane Lamond as a witness. Now, Lamond is a lieutenant. He works in the intelligence branch of the DC police. And Tarrio was supposedly in communication with him prior to and then on January 6th. According to Tarrio, he kept Lamond abreast of everything the Proud Boys were going to do, all of the Proud Boys movements, all of their plans. Therefore, he's arguing that there couldn't possibly have been a conspiracy to attack the Capitol. And it appeared that Lamond was actually planning to testify, but now his attorney is saying that the government is investigating Lamond for possibly obstructing the investigation into the Proud Boys. So Lamond doesn't want to testify. He, fears self-incrimination. And the Proud Boys attorney is claiming that this is a tactical move on the part of the prosecutors to try to prevent the jury from hearing potentially exculpatory evidence. But the prosecutor says, Lamond has known that we're investigating him for a long time, since the summer. So all of a sudden, now he's claiming he's afraid to testify. It doesn't make sense. And here's the thing. In regard to Tarrio and his communication with this lieutenant, both things can be true. He could have been informing this lieutenant of some of their movements, and he could have withheld information about their plans to attack the Capitol. It's not an either or. So I guess we'll find out when the trial starts in 1 week. But anyway, guys, that's where it stands at this point. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, subscribe. Please donate either monthly or one time if you can to give me a thank you. I really appreciate it. I thank all of you. Please take care. I'll talk with you soon.